Senior Report thanks Edmund Besch of Bristol Burgess Insurance Agency, 65 East Main Street, Westfield, for his generous grant to provide news to seniors. Funding is provided by a grant from New York State Senator Catherine M. Young, representing Western New York's 57th District with a local office in Olean. Funding is provided by a grant from Absolute Care of Westfield, committed to returning the favor to those who spent a lifetime caring for others. Absolute Care is located at 26 Cass Street in Westfield. Dave Cass and Rick Newell provide funding on behalf of the Lakeview Hotel and Restaurant at the Docks, located on Water Street near the lake in Mayville. From the Access Channel 5 television studio in Mayville, it's Senior Report with Reed Powers. Senior Report is broadcast live throughout northern Chautauqua County on Saturday morning from 9 to 10 a.m. each week. Call in and share a thought, make a comment, ask a question, or simply wish someone a happy birthday on Chautauqua County's only live call-in senior program. Since 1995, Reed has been bringing viewers hundreds of interesting guests, informing the community on a variety of subjects. Here's the host of the show, Reed Powers.
And good morning. What a beautiful day in Chautauqua County. And that old hair is giving me trouble again, but I did have my ears lured, you know. What a day it is. The sun is shining. It's beautiful out. The snow's gone away. I think summer's here already. You know, the crocuses are coming out anyway. That's a tremendous sign, a good sign of spring. All right, guys, we have a lot of things going on around us in this world. I can't watch TV without yelling at it. Everybody says, hey, they don't hear you. Stop it. But the strangest things are, let me put my cheaters on here. The strangest thing is the Afghan Quran burning. Isn't that something craziness? Why, first of all, would they burn a Quran? Because it knows they know it inflames everybody. And then why would they tell anybody? I don't know, but sure as hell got out. And boy, what a scene it is over there. They're rioting and carrying on, and they say an apology is not enough. I don't know what they're supposed to do. Maybe they should print more of them and distribute them. But what a mess that is, and it's almost as bad as peeing on the dead soldiers they did last month. There's always some sort of humiliating thing that the Army is doing over there that's causing all kinds of a rumpus. All right, at any rate, it goes on, and the war still goes on, and they're bombing and killing, and our kids are coming home in pieces, and it's just a nightmare, costing us, I know it's costing us trillions of dollars. They hide it. They say, well, it's only 200 or 300 billion or something, but they have a lot more than that going into it, and it's going nowhere. They defeated the English. The English wimped away. The Russians went bankrupt trying to beat them down over there. You can't beat these mountain people down. They're tribal. They don't have anything to do with you. And they certainly aren't interested in a democracy because they all run it by, basically because their grandfather ran it. That's the way it goes. Well, we're over there, though, and the only people making any money, of course, on it are the arms manufacturers. Why shouldn't they keep the war going? You don't see much about it on TV because, you know, out of mind, out of sight, and television's is run by all the major corporations, which are making a bundle on the war. The smart bombs, the planes, the tanks, all the ammunition. You know, those shells cost $1.50 a piece that they're shooting. It's just a madness. Water costs $15 a bottle. Halliburton, thank you. God. Oh, they borrowed all the money they can from us, wiped us out. Then our kids, they borrowed all the money they could for our kids for these wars, and now they're borrowing from our grandchildren. I think the average American owes something like $50,000 or something. It's going craziness, this madness. And we can't continue it, but we still are. It's going on and on and on. All right, so what? Congress, thank you, Congress. Your Congress is of the rich, for the rich, and by the rich. Believe me, that's what it's all about. That's why they wouldn't pass a few peanuts for seniors who are starving because they're getting 40 cents on a dollar from 10 years ago on their Social Security because they don't give a fair COLA. They got their tricky phony federal figures, you know. Oh, there's no inflation. Yeah? Okay. Taxes went up 25% last year in the state. And you mark my words, you heard it first on Senior Report a year ago. We're going to have a mammoth tax increase in Chautauqua County. And we are already the highest tax county, not in the area, not in New York State, but in the United States. Chautauqua County pays the highest taxes. And now we're in for a mammoth tax increase again. You watch. Oh, Lord help us. Got to have some of our people over here from the legislature. Crosscut's good. Fred Crosscut tells it like it is anyway. He says, I say, where's the money going to come from? He says, I don't know. All right. Watch out, seniors, for the scams. They're pulling all kinds of scams on you. When I answer the phone, most of them are phone, when I answer the phone or on email, when somebody from Nigeria tells me there's a $25 million waiting for me, all I got to do is send them a few hundred and tell them give them my Social Security and bank account. When you get it on the phone, I just tell them, hey, I'm sorry, even if it sounds legitimate, I'm sorry, I do not give nor do I buy over the telephone, and hang up sweetly, and that's the end of it. Then you won't get scammed. Teach your elderly grandfather and grandmother not to do that either, like I'm not an elderly grandfather. But at any rate, watch out for that stuff. And if you hear one, I always, as soon as I get one, I forward it to the Federal Department of Scamology. And you're supposed to call the sheriff. He's going to go over to Nigeria and clean them up, I know. Hi, Joe. All right. A lot of other things going on. I got a little good senior club news. You know, the senior clubs are the greatest outfits, and you have a whole new family if you go to the senior club. Go to your local senior club. Join them. You have parties, you have food, you have lunch, you have games, and always bingo. You can't beat it. Come on, guys. And when you do have a problem, you have a whole second community there backing you up. And they call each other, make sure you're okay, and a lot of these things are very important for you. In every town, every village, everywhere, there's a senior club. So join your local senior club. And I see in one of the senior clubs here, I got their news, it says, make sure you get your STAR program by May 1st. And guys, it's March 1st. So make sure you get down there and sign up for STAR, your senior STAR, by March 1st. What is it today, 2? The 2nd? 3rd already? Okay, at any rate, guys, it's over. But I hope you did take my advice. I told you 3 times in the last month. Make sure you get down there. So hang in there. It's worth several $100s to you, I might add, if you do it. Yeah. Okay. I have a public service announcement after this, but I wanted to mention a few things here, and then we'll have John on. First of all, the Lakeshore Senior Club is a lovely club over in Fredonia. They seem to, at this point, have lost their house. They don't have anywhere to go. The town of Pomfret did rent for them some quarters at an old church, but at this point, they say the rent's too high and they can't afford it anyway, so out you go. And seniors are wandering around wondering what hit them. President over there is Barbara Barbarich. Barbara Barbarich. She does a job over there anyway. The minutes of the previous meeting were read and motion accept by Sandra Tapasto. Everybody has the minutes. They sing the pledge. They sing God Bless America. They do the pledge, the whole schmear. You know. Okay. They're having new bingo games on March 1st and March 15th. Remember, bingo is a big deal over at senior clubs. And the next meeting over there is March 7th. Where do you meet? I don't know. Carol Kozlowski and Pat Kozlowski will know. They're the people serving the coffee. Silver Creek has a nice little club. They have a clubhouse on the corner of 5 and 20, Route 5 and 20. They own it. They take care of it. They paint it. They roof it. They put up flowers and all kinds of wonderful things. And I don't know. If you want to get involved with them, call Ed Newman. He's quite a good guy. He calls the meeting to order and does a pledge and leads a pledge and all kinds of things. Senior presidents and officers do a lot of work for nothing. All right. That's enough just about. They're telling me I could go on because I have a couple more minutes. I don't have much more news today. I do want you to know that Mary Smith called bingo. Calls bingo over at the club in Silver Creek. Their next meeting is March 6th at 1 p.m. And again, their club is invited to play bingo March 20th at 1:15 p.m. at St. Columban's. Bingo is the name, the game. All right, enough of that. Got a public service announcement for you, and then the doc, John Hamels, will be on. Here's for you.
There's a place not so far away. A place where you don't have to keep the volume down. Or clean up your room. A place where you don't have to make time for free time. You don't have to do anything but show up. You'll find all sorts of creatures in this place without have to. The silly you. The proud you. You may even meet the curious you.
Tickling me. You!
There are lots of yous to catch up with. Ask your parents to take you to this not-so-far-away place. Come to the forest, where the other you lives. But first, stop by discovertheforest.org.
There you go. One of the big advantages of Chautauqua County is lots of forests. We have a beautiful woodlands here. Okay, this guy shoots from the hip. John, you're on.
Good morning. That was a short and sweet introduction that I'm not used to. Good morning, Paul. Morning. I understand you're from the Dunkirk area. I was just up there last night. Hey, folks, if you haven't had an opportunity to go to 21 East, it's a cafe, an adult literacy program there, a bookstore. Bill and I, we played about an hour and a half of our famous Irish pub music and rebel songs, and we had a lot of fun. Speaking of St. Patrick's Day, see how I slipped that in there, Reed?
17th.
The 17th coming up. I'm even wearing some of my green today.
We have a huge party. We dance, we sing, we carry on, we tipple a bit.
Tipple a little bit.
We have these big, beautiful green, white, and red, orange flags.
There you go.
And we march through town usually.
So anyways, coming up, there's a couple things that I want to just mention real quick. At the Opera House, Fredonia Opera House, up your way, on the 17th, is a crazy Irishman, Seamus Kennedy. He's absolutely crazy, and he's a lot of fun. If you haven't ever caught his act, he's going to be up there. If you can't afford his tickets, come on down the lake to Steiner's Irish Pub. Bill and I will be playing there at the same time, so we're competing with the internationally famous Irish performer, or us. It's up to you. The Clancy brothers, right. Well, we do a lot of Clancy stuff. So anyways, that's coming up, so get your green on soon. Well, I want to get to a more serious note, Reed. This week, unfortunately, here we go again, a school shooting. And I was thinking, well, since, as many of you know, I was a school superintendent and so on, and this is absolutely not only the school's nightmare, but it's the whole community's nightmare. What a tragedy. And I thought, well, you know, people say, well, it was that school's problem, or it was a principal wasn't doing their job, or whatever. Folks, it's not like that. This is something that's got to be like the old, you know, it takes a village to raise a child kind of a thing. Everybody has to be on the same page. When these things happen, there's usually a communication breakdown. Not always, but most of the time, from the research I've read and from the conferences I've gone to on school violence, someone might have known about this. Some child may have heard that this kid was going to do something. The same thing happened way back in the Columbine situation. People knew. And in this particular case, I understand the boy got the weapon from his grandfather, perhaps. I'm pretty sure that's right. And so here's something to think about, folks. If you do have weapons in your home, put the ammo in one locked up area, put the weapon in another part of the house. Don't put them together. These young kids, they get these ideas in their heads, and the next thing you know, we have a problem. So if we do our part, that'll help. Secondly, if you see some behavior going on, some secretive stuff, their kids are holding up in their rooms or on the computers or talking quietly on the phone or something, ask the question. It's all right to invade their privacy. You're their parent or grandparent. They don't have civil rights in this particular matter. Find out what the heck's going on, who they're hanging with, and that sort of thing. If you have other children in the family and they start saying, you know, so-and-so is acting kind of weird today, report it to the school. Talk to the guidance counselor, to the principal. It doesn't